In this video, we're going to be going over how to position size like a pro. So position sizing is basically how much of your account do you have in one stock. Now this is the key to unlocking huge returns in the stock market. So let's get into how we do it. First things first, the two mistakes that a lot of investors make when they're first starting is one, having way too many stocks. Now the problem with this is not all these stocks are the best. There's only going to be, a few of the best leading stocks during a bull market. So the rest are just going to weigh you down. And then the issue also is all these stocks are going to go down if the market crashes. So it's not like you're hedging your risk that much anyway, because if the market crashes, they're all going to go down. Now, to be honest, you're probably doing this for three reasons. You're either scared, stupid, lazy, or a combination of these three. And if you don't take my word for that, then you can take Warren Buffett's, and he says diversification is a protection against ignorance. It makes little sense for those who know what they are doing. The second mistake is going all into one stock. Now, in this instance, you have way too much stock risk. So your market risk is as low as it can be. But if something bad happens with the stock, say the CEO or somebody dies like that next day, you just never know. So you don't want to have your whole account in one stock. And there's also no need to. In a great bull market, there's going to be tons of stock making huge moves. So there's no need to be all in one. So then what do we need to do? Well, we want to concentrate into around 4 to 12 stocks. This gives us a nice balanced risk where there's not too much risk on one stock, but we're not also way over diversified where we're not getting any returns because we have so much market risk. This gives us potential for some huge gains. So now you might be asking, how do I decide what size for each stock I want to invest in? So here are some questions that I like to ask before deciding what size to put on a stock. And the first is, how good is the setup? If it's a bad setup, no matter what else is going on, I do not want to put a large size on it. Second is, how strong is the market? Even if it's a really good setup, if the market looks terrible, I'm not going to go full size. 3, how strong is the sector? Maybe the setup's not that great, but the market's very strong and the setup is in a very good sector, then I might put on a little more size than I normally would. And fourth is, how good has your trading been recently? So if you've been trading really good, you want to be sizing up because things are going in the right direction. But if you haven't been trading good, you do not want to be going in with heavy size on anything. Now, say you have a good setup, the market's looking strong, it's in one of the leading sectors, and you've been trading good, you definitely want to put a nice, 20 to 30, maybe even 35% position on if it's really a great setup. But if you're missing some of these things, say it's not so strong of a market, setup's not great, you definitely want to go with a lower position size or not trade it at all. So the whole key of what we're trying to do here is we want to trade heavy when we're trading at our best and trade light or not at all when we're at our worst. That is going to give us the maximum returns. So you're saying, all right, KJ, that's great, but how do we do that? Let's go ahead and get into it right here. First off, you want to develop some set rules. Now, this is going to be different depending on what setup you trade, but if you're trading the setup that I like to do, I try to stay completely out of the market unless the 10 SMA is above the 20 SMA on the NASDAQ. So this helps me to stay out of bad environments and to trade light when trading conditions are at their worst. 2, you want to scale into the market. So when the market starts turning around and you start seeing some setups, don't go all out on them. Put some like 10% test positions out there and see how those go first. 3, you want to get in fast when it's good and get out fast when it's bad. So basically, once these test positions work, if these start working and showing some profits, it's time to scale in. Start moving quickly into 75% invested, 100% invested. This is the difference between getting, amateur returns and pro returns. You want to adapt to the market very quickly. And 4, you really have to gas it when the market is good. And this even involves using some margin. So when the market is doing incredible, say like it was in 2020, you want to juice those times for as much as they will give you. And that involves using some margin. Now, you definitely do not want to use margin haphazardly. You want to let the setups lead you. So if you're already fully invested and you still see great setups popping up that you want to take advantage of, that is when you should start using some margin. Now, all of these things together will help you to trade heavy when things are good and trade light when things are bad. And that is how to make some huge returns. So now I'm going to show you a kind of live example. So this is where the market is as of the end of May 2022. So like I said, because of my rules, I've been out of the market for pretty much an entire month now as it's just been downtrending. But now let's say the market continues to bounce like it is today and the 10 starts climbing above the 20 just like it did right here. Well, I'm going to put out, a couple 10% test positions on some good setups I see. Now, let's say those start working. Well, if they're working, then I'll start throwing in, 20% positions. If those start working, then I'll quickly move up to being fully invested. Now from there, we could have a couple different scenarios. Let's say we start making another leg down over here. Well, then I will be out quickly as soon as that happens and the 10 starts going below the 20. But let's say that doesn't happen and the market continues to climb and starts heading towards new all-time highs. If I'm fully invested and already have some nice profits, then I'm going to start putting in some margin if I continue to see great setups showing up. And that is how you gas the market for all it's worth. Because as you can see, there's not a whole lot of periods during the year when swing trading is really great. So you have to take advantage of these kind of periods whenever you can really make some solid money. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.